Now, could families with large gardens and swimming pools be facing higher water bills under the Labour Party? Well, there are reports today that ministers are looking into hitting those with larger properties with higher tariffs for excessive use. Now, it does make you wonder, in the run-up to this budget in a few weeks' time, is there anything that the Labour Party aren't looking to tax? Well, joining me now to discuss this is William Yarwood from the TaxPayers Alliance, or should that be the Taxpayers Alliance? William, welcome to the show. It's astonishing. Like, we've already got water meters. People that use a lot of water already pay a lot of tax. What on earth are the Labour Party playing at?
Well, good afternoon, Martin, and thanks for having me on the show. And yeah, what are they playing at? And the answer is they just simply want to squeeze as much money out of the British people as they possibly can. But the interesting thing with this is Starmer and Reeves are clearly, playing around in the background, thinking about what they can tax and what they can't tax. And in the conclusions that they're coming to is actually the tax burden in this country isn't high enough. We at the TPA have been banging our heads for many years now about the current tax burden we have in the UK, which is at a 70-year high. And by the end of this decade, that's going to reach an 80-year high. And, what else are they asking? It could be far worse than that if Keir Starmer and Reeves keep taxing British people on anything that they like and want to do.
And you see, William, the whole thing about this is it's one of those dreaded stealth taxes. And we've seen it before. Jeremy Corbyn tried to introduce the garden tax. If you can afford a big garden, we're going to tax you on that. Sadiq Khan floated the idea of a patio tax. If you can afford to patio your garden or put a nice drive out front or build an extension, well, you can afford a tax, because guess what? It might affect the water flow. Of course, climate change, there's another tax. These are all just modern forms of daylight robbery, aren't they? They're literally trying to tax us for things we have to use. If you can afford it, if you've got a few bob, they're going to take it off you anyway.
Yeah, completely, Martin. And actually, on a deeper level, I think it's just a classic form of socialist class warfare. Is if you have a nice thing, like if you have a swimming pool in your backyard, which, by the way, Martin, many people in this country simply don't have due to the fact that there's not enough space. But if you do, well, I'm afraid you need to be taxed on that. If you have a large garden and, use your hose to, water plants or water leaves or whatever it might be, they'll go, oh, sorry, mate, you can't be doing that because I need to tax you for it. So it's just a classic form of Labour's socialist class warfare, which is hitting people for, having nicer things. And quite frankly, I don't think that that's what this country should be.
And William, we've also seen this week the idea of taxes being floated, sin taxes, the idea of putting more tax on alcohol duty, on beer, on cider, on spirits, on smoking, on fun, on life. It just seems to be a direction of travel that we're going to be taxed to the hilt by this new Puritan Labour Party. If you're having a bit of fun, we're going to tax you for it, because guess what? It's not good for you.
Yeah, completely. And it's not the job of the government to tell us what we can or cannot do with the bodies and what we can and cannot enjoy. I mean, the Labour Party, it doesn't seem to care that British hospitality is on its knees already and has been since the pandemic, with record numbers of nightclubs, pubs and the like closing down. And with these new proposed increases on alcohol duty or the potential banning of smoking from outside pubs and restaurants, all they want to do is drive these things into the ground so that you have nowhere to have fun, nowhere to eat, nowhere to drink, nowhere to smoke, so you can just sit at home and be miserable. And quite frankly, the British people need to stand up and completely reject this nonsense.
What a dismal dystopian future. William, we need to just get in the pub and have a fag later on, don't we, together? Thank you very much for joining us from the Taxpayers Alliance. William Yarwood, excellent as ever. Thank you.